I'm finding these are really doing well sampling. And so I'm making sample instruments out of it so we can get these kind of more rare tones available to people in a way that keeps that tone. So I'm sampling, it's part of my current project, I'm sampling every note along the keyboard for 5, 6, even 7 octaves on some of them. Here's an example, here's a sample instrument. It's part of my modular per note sample set, and I'll be making these available for people and in a reachable way. But anyway, here's an example. And this is the Blip module. And with, you know, various ways you can do the vibrato, of course, even the diaphragm vibrato. And thanks so much, you guys. Have a good day. Hey, Mark Steiner here. Just wanted to show you some modules real quick that sound great for wind synthesis, actually for any kind of synthesis. And there's some modules that make some wave shapes that almost nothing out there does right now. It's kind of related to the variophone stuff. That's the Blip by Fricko. It's this little skinny module here. And then there's another one called the Shell, built by the same company in Australia, which is Fricko. And the shell is based on the Fibonacci series. So if you look at a shell and the mathematics that kind of spiral that shell, and those mathematics are found throughout nature, they also shape waveforms really naturally the way actually a lot of double reeds and similar reed instruments do. And both of them kind of do that in different ways, and they are great. So anyway. So one thing neat, we're doing the Blip right now, which is taking a saw wave and turning it into pulses. And I found it's very much dependent, the tone you get is very much dependent on the volume of the saw wave that you're putting through it. In this case, it's a Steiner synthesis system saw wave. And anyway, so that saw wave's going into the Blip right here. And let's have a listen. I'm going to change with this knob the volume. The volume gets quieter, it gets into that nasal, nice sound. these can stay in tune so nicely, but to make it emulate the expressions of acoustic instruments or the expressions of natural non-electronic physics, we want to introduce struggle. So anytime you're introducing struggle, such as struggling to keep it in tune. So my breath is going to slightly affect the pitch here. Well, first I'll drastically affect the pitch. So the harder I blow, it goes really low. And that's fun and silly. But to be more musical, we're going to have it so that it affects the pitch just a little bit. So the tone and the pitch are changing. And kind of like when you are playing a double reed instrument or certain reed instruments or all kinds of things, the louder it gets, it doesn't just stay a straight pitch, and so you have to kind of maintain that pitch and keep it in tune, and it's nice. It's harder to play, but it's also gets a lot of more human stuff in it. So when I do vibrato with my breath, it does have that nice pitch as well as tone change. So we're introducing a little bit of struggle. It's kind of harder to play it that way, but that's okay. It's within that struggle. We don't want it to be too much of a struggle, but it's within that struggle that we start feeling the differences of musicians and their feeling of expressing. And you have to kind of practice these instruments right when you get them where you want them. You got to practice keeping them right and then tune them so the tone you kind of want is that center pitch there. But anyway, that's fun. I'm also running through a Steiner synthesis system filter here because you want to do some dampening. The wood body of a wind instrument will dampen some of the high frequencies so we can get it nice and mellow. Really good to have a low pass filter at the end and dampen some of those high frequencies, unless you want it to sound, extra exotic or whatever. So. And also, you can do some fun things with making it more resonant on this filter at the end. So let's try some from the shell now. There it is. There's the spot. You got to find the right volume where it starts to get that Fibonacci shape, just carving it out. Really beautiful tones. And on both of these modules, the tone changes across the pitch spectrum.